Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Hannah, where'd that duck Claressa go? I don't know, Shadasia. Man, ain't no fried rice and chicken wings out here. Boom, I'm gone, know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. Claressa Shields is fighting Franchón Crews-Dezurn again. And some fans feel she's avoiding Shadasia Green and Hannah Gabriels because Claressa Shields doesn't want to get knocked out. Now, I've already talked about this. Franchón Crews is over there with Demetrius Salita with Claressa Shields. So it's an easy fight to make. But I'm going to say this. Claressa Shields has already beat Franchón Crews several times. Amateurs, and she beat her in the pro. As a pro, right? The rematch between Shields and Crews is surprising to many fans who believe Shields had other, more dangerous options on the table. When Shields first fought Franchón, both women were making their professional debuts. It was wild, sloppy, chaotic, highly physical, where both showed heart, but neither showed their best refined skill. Since then, Shields has become a multi-division undisputed champion, while Franchón went on to become undisputed at super middleweight. However, most insiders and fans still feel there's a wide skill gap between them, and that's just a fact, right? That gap has fueled the perception that Claressa Shields, the GWOAT, is not taking the most dangerous challenges available. Now, I think in her next fight, I hope she'll go after Shadasia, but we don't know. To some fans, the rematch looks less like a legacy fight and more like a stay busy fight or a loyalty fight. A chance for Shields to help a friend earn a paycheck while keeping herself active without taking on unnecessary risks. But the fans' frustration doesn't come from the Franchón matchup itself. It comes from the fights that aren't happening. These names ring a bell. Shadasia Green and Hannah Gabriels. Those names hover over Shields like clouds she hasn't cleared. Shadasia Green brings concussive, fight-ending power that is rare in women's boxing. It's not just that she wins, it's how she wins. Her knockouts are sudden, violent, and game-changing. Fans saw her put Savannah Marshall in a survival mode with a single shot, and that moment alone created the narrative that Green's power is the one true threat to Shields' unbeaten armor. Even Savannah Marshall said, I'd never been hit like that before. She got the shit knocked out of her, man. But I tell you what, Claressa Shields may be looking at this saying, hell no. She ain't hitting me with that. So y'all can hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. Now, I'll say this, right? Whether it's fair or not, fans compare Shadasia's one-punch danger to Shields' style, which relies far more on speed, control, positioning, and accumulation rather than one-punch devastation. Because of that contrast, many fans believe Shields has more to lose in that matchup than she stands to gain. And when a fighter gets on the top, risk-reward equation, fair to unfair, turns into public conversation about ducking, putting duck sauce on the fried rice. Boom, I'm gone, know what I'm saying? Shields has repeatedly expressed confidence that she's the best woman to ever box. I'll beat anybody up. I got 100,000 to any woman from anywhere in the world. If you can beat me, the GWOAT, tell them pap, papoop, pap, pap, papoop, poop, pap, brrr. Let me tell you something. Fans interpret her fight selections differently. All the noise she's making differently. Some believe Claressa is acutely aware of how much her undefeated record plays into her identity, her brand, her nickname, her marketability, and her legacy. Losing to a puncher like Shadasia Green even if it only happened by a flash knockdown or single perfect shot, would instantly change the GWOAT narrative. No more GWOAT at all. Fans also point out that Shields has been more sensitive recently to criticism, praise, disrespect, and any commentary about her career and lifestyle. That emotional sensitivity makes some fans claim she is fighting safer fights to avoid any possibility of losing control of her narrative. Whether true or not, that's the public belief, and boxing is as much about perception as performance. I am telling you, Claressa Shields' undefeated record is her crown jewel. She makes fun of fighters who have losses. She makes fun of fighters for any and every reason. Talk about money, talk about looks, talk about everything. She got something to say. But I tell you what, Claressa Shields may not be in a rush to get in there with anyone who can give her a real challenge. Because boy, oh boy, even if she wins, but she gets knocked down, she's not going to be able to live with herself. She'll probably run out to her car and try to grab a knife like she did. She claimed she did when the guy knocked her down in sparring. Now, with Hannah Gabriels, my friend, the fans' narrative is different, but just as heated. The first Gabriels versus Shields fight produced the only and rare moment where Shields was knocked down. Gabriels landed a clean shot that reminded everyone Shields can be touched and hurt. Hannah Gabriels put the bing bings on the GWOAT. The rematch was supposed to be the opportunity to erase that memory permanently, but Gabriels, she came out, she talked about it, she failed a drug test, later cleared of the drug test, but that derailed their second meeting. Now, there were some more negotiations that were restarted. Reports suggested disagreements over weight. Other factors, the bottom line is Shields was trying to control every advantage, which further fed the idea that she didn't want to roll the dice with someone who had already shown that she could hurt her. Even though Claressa has the right to negotiate favorable terms because she's the A side, every champion does, her critics use it as ammunition. And because Shields refuses to even say Hannah's name now, the speculation grows louder. She won't say Hannah Gabriel's name at all unless she's saying something negative. She won't say a damn thing about Hannah. She don't want a damn thing to do with Hannah Gabriels because I think deep down she knows Hannah Gabriels put the bing bings on her, and Hannah Gabriels right now is fresher than ever and ready to do the business. Shadasia Green and Hannah Gabriels, Claressa Shields seems to be, running, not even running, but flying further and further away. And just quack, 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 quack. Quacking and ducking the real smoke from the hard-hitting women in the division. Now, from a psychological standpoint, fans see contradictions in Shields. From her branding, messaging, her behavior, Shields constantly speaks about wanting to fight the best, wanting to unify, wanting to dominate, wanting to be respected, wanting to prove her greatness. Yet to fans, the matchup she pursues do not always align with those statements. Has she really fought the best? Yes, she's picked up a bunch of titles, but has she really fought the best? That disconnect fuels the narrative that she's protecting her legacy rather than expanding it. Fans also point to Shields' emotional responses to public criticism, her social media outbursts, and her need to constantly defend her greatness online rather than letting her resume speak for itself. When fans observe a fighter continually trying to maintain control of the narrative off camera, they begin to wonder if she fears losing control inside the ring as well. But that's only one side, you know what I'm saying? From a strategic standpoint, Shields may be simply navigating the realities of women's boxing economics. High-risk fights do not always bring high paydays. She may feel Green and Gabriels don't bring enough financial incentive to justify the risk, but I'll tell you right now, Green brings the money, especially if it's on Netflix. Green is a unified champion. But if they were going to fight Claressa wants them to fight her at heavyweight. Claressa wants to defend her undisputed crown. So who knows what all is going on with Claressa? She may be prioritizing activity, exposure, consistency, over proving herself again and again in wars that don't move the needle financially, you know. But Shadasia Green, that, I know for a fact that fight right there will make Claressa a whole lot of money. Shields has she has. I know Claressa Shields may have some business deals out there. I think she. I think she has some crossover opportunities, but I think she's been hurting herself as well. And as far as the branding that could be global, but she's self sabotaging herself. But one thing I'll say is she may be able to get that stuff back on track. But if she ends up taking a loss and doesn't remain undefeated, it'll be no matter how much she changes her attitude and the way she talks and conducts herself, having losses on her record will make it damn near impossible for her to lock in anything. So, in that sense, avoiding unnecessary danger, you know, I don't know if it's fear, it just could be career management, you know. Men do it, women do it, champions do it, legends do it. Fans simply don't like when the motivation behind matchmaking become visible. And to me, I think we're getting a little peek behind the tent flaps as far as Claressa Shields and what she's doing, but we just have to sit back and see how it all plays out. Now, at the same time, the Franchón rematch represents something Shields is comfortable with. She's familiar with it. They fought in the amateurs. She knows Franchón's style, pace, flaws, and tendencies. She's very familiar with it. She knows she can likely handle her. She knows she can likely handle her comfortably, even if it's not an easy fight. She knows the risk of a knockout is low. She knows the technical gap remains wide. For a fighter with upcoming opportunities outside the ring, this matchup is low risk, medium reward, and high control, and the exact combination the fighter looks for when they want to stay active without jeopardizing long-term plans. In the end, the biggest question is not whether Shields is afraid, but only the fighter herself knows her fears, but I think she is aware of the threat that Shadasia Green and Hannah Gabriel poses. And as a result, she could be just looking at the legacy risk because she values her legacy. But she could be looking at legacy risk versus business control. Fans see avoidance. Shields may see management. Fans see contradictions. Shields may see strategy. Fans see fear. Shields may see self-preservation of brand value and career longevity. I think the truth is kind of in the middle, you know, but public perception is shaping the narrative more than facts ever could. And this is why Claressa Shields has to do something. She got to fight Shadasia. Look, I don't care what. With this 4-fight deal she has going on, she has got to fight Shadasia, and Hannah Gabriels is a fight she's got to try to make, but I just don't know if Hannah will go all the way up to 175. Shadasia maybe, Hannah. I don't think she wants to. So we may never get the Claressa Shields Hannah Gabriels fight. But I'll tell you what. It's pretty clear that fan relationship between Claressa and the fans have been strained. Many supporters feel she's picking safer fights, avoiding the punches, protecting her undefeated claim rather than proving it. But the thing is, after Franchón Crews-Dezurn, maybe we get the Shadasia Green fight. We don't know. We got to wait and see. Others believe she is tired of criticism, sensitive to disrespect, and motivated now more than ever by emotion and logic. Either way, her rematch with Franchón Crews-Dezurn is not the fight fans wanted, and that alone keeps the speculation alive. Is Claressa Shields avoiding danger? Trying to understand her fight choices? Why didn't she fight Shadasia Green? Will she fight her next? Hannah Gabriels, that's the one fight Claressa refuses to say. And when she does try to talk about fighting her, she wants to make it the A side versus the Hannah Gabriel side, and force Hannah Gabriels into something to where Claressa has all the clear advantages. But I just think somebody here is getting exposed for putting duck sauce on the fried rice, and it's definitely not Hannah, and it's definitely not Shadasia. It's Claressa. But Claressa has time to come back and prove me wrong, especially if she can get through Crews and then get in the ring with Shadasia. If she fights Shadasia, she beats Shadasia, she's gonna get my credit. I'll tell you that. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. In the break.